It's the first track since the new studio. If you've seen that series, it was quite an ordeal. There are still some bugs to work out here so far as everything, but I believe we have it ready to go, and this is going to be the first thing that we make. And we're just going to go through it, and as I go, there may be issues that we work through. Here we go. The reason I like to start with the piano is because it's kind of an agnostic sound. It doesn't lull you into some kind of false security of like the timbre and richness of tone. I know piano is a beautiful instrument, all that, but it's very pure and it's just very it's very clear. You can really hear the harmonies, and it's been my experience, if it sounds good with the piano, it usually will sound even better once it's orchestrated out with other instruments, whether that be synthesizers or string instruments, whatever. So the other thing about this is that I like to start with these virtual instruments, something that has a defined and correct tuning, so that when we tune the modular synthesizers to it, you can add other instruments, whether it be live players, and their tuning will be correct. If you start with a modular and you're off a little bit, and then you try to add like virtual instruments, or if you take that and say have an acoustic musician play with it, and they're like, well, it's what pitch is that? That's all out of whack. And it might sound great on the modular, but then it's not in tune with everything else. So it's been my experience, start this way, and the piano really gives a very clear pitch center to your harmonies and everything else, and that's also nice for tuning. So we made the sequence here. We're using the Native Instruments ALICIAS keys, which to my ear is the best one of the Native Instruments acoustic pianos. From what I understand, they really went above and beyond to sample her piano, and the others are okay. The Maverick and those, they're all right, but this one sounds really nice, so this is the one that I always use. Let's hear it, just the piano part. Okay, so what we have going on here is I'm kind of thinking of this in B LOCRIAN, LOCRIAN being the 7th degree of a major scale, running a major scale from 7th degree to the 7th degree. And so B, it's just the white keys on the piano, super easy. But it has a kind of mysterious sound to it that has more, I think, flavor than just like any of the minor modes, like a natural minor, but then it's not as it's somehow not as specific as like a harmonic minor. It's not as ambiguous as a melodic minor, where it's different ascending than descending. But I don't know. It's nice. That's what I chose. And so then the second part here, there is another piano part that in this one we used the lo-fi, Steinberg's lo-fi piano, which is really nice. And that's going through a lot of reverb here. And the reverb is Reverence. And we're using a large Viennese hall. And we have an EQ before it, the Steinberg Studio EQ. And all these plugins are going to open up down off the screen here because it's used to the other monitors. And we're just rolling off some of the high end and the low end going into the reverb. Yeah, you can hear that reverb tail on the lo-fi piano. Is nice. We added in here in the second half of this phrase, we're adding in the native instruments. It's just the organ. And then I believe also from native instruments, the SCARBEE Mark I Rhodes. And so when we get to there, those come in and sound like this. So it's a start, and we'll build it out from there and keep going. Just added a little more to the arrangement here. I think what I want to do is start with the organ and the Rhodes in the open, kind of down and sparse. And I added this harp here. This is the harp from the Native Instruments, whatever that library is, the orchestral. I think those came from the Vienna instruments way back in the day. Anyway, it's a nice harp, and I've got that also going through both of my reverbs and 2 delays, and it sounds by itself like this. So again, it's all within kind of this B LOCRIAN sort of, at least I'm thinking, this is how I'm thinking of it, is in B LOCRIAN. So far as where the tonal center ends up kind of seeming to land throughout how it progresses, it could be different, but you might hear it a different way. But that's how I'm thinking of it to get started. So it would go this way. Okay, I think that about does it for this one. Stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to sequence the Vermona DRM3 with the Do for shout work, using the triggers from the shout work, and then we're going to go through those parts and make an arrangement. If you found this content useful, consider joining me over at my Patreon. Your support there is most appreciated. But even more so than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications. That's the best way you can help me to grow the channel. And we'll see you next time. What the fuck is the thing called? It's called the Vermona DRM1 Mark III. This is what it's called. DRM1 Mark III. Okay. This is it. This is the one. I knew I should have written this down.